and welcome back, everyone. When last we played last Wednesday, we journeyed into the Wicked Vale to do battle with Baba Yaga, and then climbed through a mountain mining facility, and now we move forward. As a reminder, my broadcasts are always Mondays and Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, specifically for this game, or whichever one is the official one on the channel. I've been streaming other things daily just for the hell of it. But, yes, here we go. Oh, I did say that we were going to do the Croft Manor this week, didn't I? Excuse me. We're going to begin with Blood Ties. I have actually not played Laura's Nightmare. We'll have to see what that is later.
Final notice to Lara Croft, a current tenant of premises. This is to serve as your final notice for the purposes of terminating your ownership of Croft Manor. You are required to immediately vacate and surrender possession of said manor to Atlas de Mornay, executor of estates.
Lara, it is unfortunate that you have forced my hand in this matter, but so be it. As you know, your parents appointed me executor of the estate in the event of their absence. Since your mother disappeared, her death was never technically declared. And given the circumstances surrounding your father's death, it's no surprise that he never drafted a formal last will and testament to account for this circumstance. Unfortunately, you have no legal claims to the estate. I'm willing to negotiate a modest monthly stipend from your trust, but only if you leave the manor by week's end. Don't fight me on this, Lara. Your mother wouldn't want that. Sincerely, Atlas.
There has to be a will or some kind of evidence of what happened to Mum in the manor, somewhere. Dad's safe. Needs a combination. It's got to be in Dad's papers somewhere. Maybe in the library.
My birthday crown. I was so proud of that thing. That's my handwriting. My penmanship was pretty good.
Welcome to Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Laura gets evicted.
Well, this is a hell of a thing. I met someone tonight quite unexpectedly. But it shouldn't have been, it seems. I've been so buried in my work, so distracted by my latest revelations, I never bothered to notice my surroundings. But there she was, sitting at my table in the library. Her name is Amelia. And apparently she's been studying right next to me. Art history, of all things. I shared some of my research against my better judgment, but I wanted to see how she would respond. And she did not disappoint. I felt as if I was suddenly engaged in a mental game of chess, moving and counter-moving in argument. At one point, that poor old librarian had to shush us as if we were children. I feel so foolish for not having noticed her earlier. She's a brilliant woman who's challenged my ideas for the first time in memory. In truth, I don't know if she's feeling as exhilarated as I am right now, but I dare say our conversation was mutually stimulating. For the first time in a long time, I find myself thinking about something else besides my research. I hope she returns for another round tomorrow.
They talked about
My parents
Pokemon.
made a good team, challenging each other from the start. Dad would have liked me to go to Oxford, but I insisted on UCL. Yep, looks real. Roth once offered to forge me a fake diploma to show Dad.
That's what I was missing.
A picture with Dad and Anna. Never liked wearing dresses, but the color was nice. This is probably my grandfather, Benjamin.
I finally introduced Richard to the family. It went precisely how I imagined. Icy but polite grace from Mother, indifference and disinterest from Father, and thinly veiled contempt from Atlas. Of course they don't approve. To them, Lord Croft is the man who took away their beloved daughter and ruined her long-standing engagement, though I was never going to marry that repugnant Earl of Farringdon anyway. One might think they would be happy that I was being courted by a genuine lord of the realm. It just happens to be Richard Croft. In their eyes, the man who single-handedly ruined a once great family. But there's nothing to be done now. Watching how Richard dealt with their subtle insults and disrespect. Such grace and calm. I know he did it for me. I think I'm falling in love with this man. It will break my mother's heart, but I cannot live the life she imagined for me. My time with Richard has only made this clearer.
It must have been hard for Mum to go against her family's wishes. I'm glad she did.
The affluent are so weird.
The door to the library. Locked. There's got to be another way through. This is the map I made for my first expedition with Dad. It shows a path to the library through the servants' passages. Too dark. Going to need a flashlight.
Really?
Dad's artifacts from the Nile Valley. I always loved looking at these. Dad became interested in immortality myths after his expeditions to Egypt.
Oh. Are we not? There we go. So those just... okay. Weird flex, but okay.
Lara, I've reviewed the report from your therapist. I have to say I was surprised to see a clean bill of health. I somehow doubt you've so easily abandoned your irrational claims. Indeed, where have you been the past few weeks? My secretary discovered that you booked a flight to Turkey on the 20th. You can't have been simply sightseeing, as your customs claims suggest. I know you're up to something, and I'll be damned if I let you use the Croft assets to indulge the same obsession that led to my sister's death. It's not too late to relinquish your claims on the manor voluntarily. If you refuse, I will find a way to cut you off. Sincerely.
What a dick.
Well, hello there, Sir Lancelot. Don't worry, I won't be boring your sword this time.
Oh, come... that would open the safe. The house is trashed anyway, do it.
Hall. Always loved playing in here as a kid. This will be one of the first things to fix. A phoenix figurine. I bet this appealed to Dad's idea of immortality, of rising from the ashes and being born anew.
doesn't even lift.
Lara, you know the West Wing is off limits.
Because you're
I'm sorry,
dad is
I
the beast?
just wanted to see...
We've been through this.
Was Mum's room in here?
Need a key to open this. Dad was always so protective of the West Wing.
There on the floor, Mistress Lara?
Looking at the compass, thinking.
What about, if I may inquire?
Just thinking about discovering faraway places, about finding adventure.
I'm sure you will, my lady. You've the soul of an explorer. But don't grow up too fast.
The offer came in the post last week, and I still haven't told Richard. He flew ahead to Tibet, where I will meet him shortly. I never told him I was submitting my work. Never thought there was a chance of being accepted. Oh, but a gallery tour is not something I can pass up. The show will take me away from England for over a year. I'll begin in New York and travel across the United States and... oh, God! I'm giddy even writing these words. When Richard and I were married, I was prepared to relegate my painting to a hobby. But it was Richard who objected, who gave me my atelier and studio. Without that support, I might still be painting boring landscapes. Now I can't shake the foolish sensation that leaving would be a betrayal. He will laugh at that and insist I accept, even though I know it will break his heart to be apart. He never once asked me to sacrifice any part of my life for his. I have, of course, in 1,000 small ways over the years, but he would never ask. The discussion can wait, and I will join him in Tibet. I won't cast a shadow over his find. I will be by his side in his triumph, as I know he will stand by my side, in time.
Got to remember to pack this for my next trip.
Hey, Jonah. Sorry for not getting back to you sooner. I've decided to do some research at the manor. A lot has happened, and I need some time to think about what I want to do next. This old place is filled with memories and secrets. Uncle Atlas has tried to keep me out of here for so long I don't even know if I want to keep it. But after everything that's happened, maybe I can find out what it still means to me. If it's worth fighting him for. I'll let you know how things worked out when I'm back in London.
Should be able to explore the dark now.
I can conquer the dark. As soon as I make sure I haven't missed anything.
Lara, since your return from your expedition to Yamatai, I've grown increasingly alarmed at your erratic behavior. I can only assume you suffered some kind of psychological trauma and are only acting out as a call for help. I want you to know that I hear you, loud and clear. Anna and I agree that it's time for you to be evaluated by a professional. I took the liberty of arranging an introduction to a highly qualified colleague of mine. You should be receiving the details in the post soon. I want to impress upon you the importance of this, Lara. As executor of the estate, it is my duty to see that it is left in capable hands. And if I may be blunt, you're acting like your father when he was at his worst. He nearly lost the manor himself in those days. I'd hate for you to repeat his mistakes. I encourage you to embrace the help I'm offering. Sincerely, your uncle.
It seems like he mostly just tied their family up in a lot of mumbo-jumbo, but I wouldn't mind meeting him. Just to punch him in the face.
Another one of Dad's immortality artifacts. I think Roth bought this for him from a trader in Greece.
Okay, time to run back upstairs and see what's in the spooky passage.
Falling apart. Maybe I should just let my uncle have this place.
They say a good test of a relationship is how well you travel together. Well, I'd say Amelia and I have passed that test with flying colors. Indeed, these last few months in Egypt have been nothing short.
She won't level
of
up in her own house, I
extraordinary.
promise you.
She and Roth get on like old uni chums. In fact, the two have spent more than a few nights drinking and playing cards into the wee hours. Despite her decidedly proper upbringing, Amelia's taken to roughing it more than I ever have. She fits in and connects with the local populace with such amazing empathy. Because of her, I've had a bit of an unexpected breakthrough in my research. She managed to convince an artifact dealer in Old Town to sell me a magnificent and quite unusual Tibetan scroll. From what I can tell, it seems to contain details surrounding an immortality ritual of some sort. I think it's time for me to take the next step with Amelia. In fact, I don't think I can wait any longer. I will ask for her hand tomorrow in
For
the
holding.
bright Egyptian sun amidst the dust and ruins.
It will be first base. It will be glorious.
I'm not surprised he asked her to marry him as soon as he got the idea.
Oh boy.
Amelia, I know we have had our differences in recent years. I've tried my best to keep an open mind about your relationship with Richard, but I just can't let you go on this ill-conceived expedition without saying my piece. You say Richard's theories have merit. You say that he may have actually stumbled upon some mythic, unknown truth, but I have seen nothing to support such claims. And while your word may have been enough in times past, I cannot let you squander away what remains of your name and reputation, and that of our family, truth be told, on some damned foolish crusade. I intend to go to Richard's investors and let them know exactly how he's spending their money, but I want to give you a chance to put a stop to this yourself. Please, don't go to Tibet. If not for me, at least for Lara.
How dare your husband spend his own fortune, which should be ours?
Still just as creepy as I remember.
Huh.
My lord, I hope this missive finds you on a successful expedition and in good health. Before I bore you with estate affairs, I wanted to let you know that our little angel has been into some mischief. As always, I indulged her in our usual game of chess. Over the course of the game, she broached the subject of her mother. She's having trouble remembering her now, and wanted to enter her ladyship's atelier, which you sealed off, to play on her mother's piano. It enraged her when she wasn't allowed to go in, of course. For someone so young, she has such strong emotions. Later in the day, she set a trap for me in the walk-in freezer of all
want
places.
to play a game.
Before I knew what was happening, I found myself locked inside. Mrs. Sheffield discovered me an hour later, shivering and somewhat peeved. It took us an additional hour to find Lara in the grounds. I know all her hiding places, of course, but this time she really did not want to be found. Call it years of observation, but I can tell when she's out of sorts. My lord,
You know, like
if I
when
may
she
be so
tries to
bold,
kill me.
she misses you fiercely. She is lonely for her father. Please consider a call as soon as you are able.
You were an interesting child,
Being so
Lara.
angry. He was always so patient with me.
King to Queen 1. I'm going to win this time, Winston.
Clever girl. But you should know by now, winning isn't everything. Queen to
I
king...
would play chess with our old butler Winston on this board. Never could beat him.
Where's the rumble? There we go.
I always chose white. Maybe if I let him go first once in a while, I might have won.
Bishop 6. Check.
Easy for you to say. You always win. Knight takes queen.
What I mean to say is try to enjoy the journey, Lara. Don't rush to victory. Bishop to King 7.
I'm at a crossroads now. Good lord, that's such a cliché. But there's truth in it. 2 roads before me. Both present joy and compromise. A life with Richard, adventure, intellectual pursuit, perhaps a new family. But also a man obsessed with something I cannot understand. Or a life of obligation, upholding the de Mornay name, embracing our traditions, not losing the family that raised me. Oh, this really is a rubbish choice. I don't want to lose them, but I love the life I've started to build with Richard. He comes with his own difficulties, but I can accept them. Will it be enough?
Your parents leave weird stuff in weird places.
Everything is almost ready for Mistress Lara's birthday expedition surprise. It's been a bit of an all-hands-on-deck effort organizing the affair and keeping it secret. She's obsessed with Egypt, memorizing hieroglyphs and ancient Egyptian districts, so she'll be delighted with what Lord Croft has come up with. This will be good for her. She's been acting up of late, but I know she's just craving more of her father's attention. He's been so buried in his research. It'll be a nice moment for the 2 of them to reconnect. And I do believe he needs it as much as she does.
See, I like the idea of this overall, like, that her family and the people who work in the house just create, like, mysteries for her to solve, because why live in a giant house if you're not going to do stuff like that?
Dad loved a good bottle of wine.
I can still smell his favorite Bordeaux.
Dad, this is it! The basement of despair!
Indeed, Lara. Muster your courage, for this is the only path to the Library of Infinite Knowledge.
Look there! See the string?
An ancient Egyptian tripwire. The Keepers of Knowledge want none to disturb their treasures. We must tread carefully.
Let
You
me
should
lead.
call
I know how to
somebody
spot all the
about
traps.
this.
I'm sure you do, my darling. Lead on.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Water damage from the main hall above. One of the wire traps Winston made for my birthday expedition. Winston used my hair ribbons to make this. He and Dad put a lot of work into this birthday surprise.
I missed a passage back there because I remember seeing a statue of Vanya so I'm going to go back and take that other route real quick. Now, none of this looks promising, sweetheart. You need to get people in here.
My stuffed bear. I couldn't have a tomb without a mummy.
Yeah, that's all just super concerning. I'm gonna Gotta maintain that. Okay. That's what I want to get to. So how do I get to it? Not from out there. Okay. So that's the way I went originally. I came back through here, and I think the mummy bear was the extent of our loot. Yes. So the way in must be where we were before.
This bust of Anubis was from Dad's Egyptian collection. He must have put it down in the basement for our little expedition.
Nice.
Plans for adding electricity to the manor. Dad used to say his granny hated all the bright lights. There's a missing page.
Can't have your electricity without all the pages.
Amelia left tonight. She packed her suitcase and walked right out of here, and I didn't even notice. Like those days in the Oxford Library before we even met. I just had my nose in a book, lost in my own world. I am such a fool. I have let my obsession with this damned ritual of long life rule my better judgment for far too long, and it may already be too late. How could I have not seen this coming? I've made this mistake over and over, always putting my research before my personal life. But it's never hurt like this before. I simply cannot live without her. If I have to give up this accursed quest that has plagued me for so long, then so be it. I am going after her, right now, tonight.
Okay, Dad's ledger has to be in here somewhere. Hopefully it has the combination to the safe.
I've created a clever little map for Lara's birthday expedition. I used the invisible ink Amelia picked up for me in Morocco so many years ago. At the time, I remember being so annoyed by that rather aggressive street vendor, but she just smiled in her sunny way and paid him without a second thought. I assumed it was just a tourist scam, but it actually works. Turns out it requires a very specific kind of vellum and a heat source to illuminate the ink after it's dried. It should prove a nice challenge for Lara to puzzle out.
And literally no one else.
I always accepted that Richard's rather unorthodox research was just something I had to live with. But this time, the thrill of discovery has taken hold of me. I never imagined I could be drawn in this way. Richard cabled to tell me he's found the monastery. The symbol we deciphered in the scroll was the key to its location. I don't know if I honestly believe that this will lead to the fabled elixir of life, but I can't help but feel that a great secret awaits us there. My brother was threatening to shut down the expedition, but I managed to talk him down for the time being. Now I am going to meet Richard. I would bring Lara if I could, but she's still too young. She'll be in good hands with Winston, and when we return, her parents might just be a bit more famous.
And Winston might be dead.
This music is familiar. It's beautiful.
I assume, yes.
It appears Sir Reginald's helmet fell off. Or didn't I put it back properly?
For God's sake, memorize the combination, you fool. Lara's expedition treasure, my favorite painting by Amelia, the day of our wedding anniversary.
Okay, got to find those objects to figure out the combination to the safe. There's something else here.
I've reached the monastery. As Roth predicted, it was hidden deep in the Himalayas. And now that I'm standing on these high stone walls, I am overwhelmed by the sheer beauty of the mountains that surround me. It is simply breathtaking. But what adds to their spiritual majesty is the truth of this place. The monks welcomed me, as is their way, but they seemed to expect me. They must have known someone like me would eventually come seeking answers. I know this is the place. They've conducted the ritual before. I have seen the evidence, the distinctive symbols carved into the floors, the art displayed on the inner chamber's walls. They've created the elixir before, and they will again if I can convince them. I sent Amelia a message straight away. I want her by my side for this discovery.
Dad was looking for an elixir. Was it the elixir of life? Dad's lighter. I don't remember him ever using it, though. The Croft family crest and initials BC. I wonder if this belonged to my grandfather.
Yaha.
Okay. Should be able to light the fireplace now.
No, the T-Rex doll. It's too adorable.
This is my handiwork. I used to love drawing pictures of tigers.
Spent so many hours in here, reading, dreaming of my own adventures.
Baby Lara and T-Rexes is a theme throughout this set of games. Oh, gotta hold it. Brilliant. I think you've done it.
One of Winston's notes. He always hid sweets for me to find.
I remember this now. Each district in ancient Egypt had a symbol and a number. I always preferred these symbols to the actual number hieroglyphs.
Now, let me see. These two myths are referencing the same source material. But where did I see this image?
Dad, I think it's this one, in the chapter on Egyptian districts.
Why, yes, I think you're right, Lara.
I remember the page with the illustration of Ra.
My goodness, you've been paying attention, haven't you? This could be an important breakthrough.
Does this mean I'm your research assistant?
That and more, my darling girl.
But we're not going to pay you.
This was always one of my favorite books in this library. I used to trace hieroglyphs. Back. Those were good times. The best times.
Okay. Yaha. Okay.
Took quite a tumble off of this old thing when I was a girl. Still feel it in the shoulder from time to time. Blank, except for the image of a key. I remember this map now. It leads to the master key, but we made it with a special kind of invisible ink. It could only be seen with the heat of a fire.
Oh, sweet. We already got one of those.
I can see the map. Looks like the key is hidden under a trunk near the bookcase. X marks the spot, as they say.
Yaha. Da 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 da.
The master key. This should get me into the West Wing. All right. This should open most rooms in the manor, including the Forbidden West Wing. I think there might be more clues to find in the library.
The library. She wanted me to find more stuff, so what? Oh, okay. Something to unlock, probably.
The Pharaoh's crown from my birthday treasure hunt. How old was I again? 6? 8? I think this hieroglyph corresponds to a number, but which one?
Oh, you're gonna make me like actually look at that stuff and try to remember it? That's bull honky.
For God's sake, memorize the combin.
Okay, got that. So where's the... Damn it. Okay, we got the hieroglyphics worksheet. So what was on the crown again?
The Pharaoh's crown from my birthday treasure hunt. How old was I again? 6?
Okay. 2 birds.
I remember this now. Each district in
5.
ancient Egypt had a...
Cool. Yeah, that was brilliant.
Okay, Dad's clues mention Mum's paintings and their anniversary. Hopefully I can find some answers in the West Wing.
No doors closed to me now. Oh, there was a locked chest over here, wasn't there?
Croft family crest.
Nice.
Worse than I thought. This is strangely beautiful. Okay, Laura, keep it together. You're starting to see things.
My lord, we all hope your work
Right?
was well received at the conference and look forward to your return. As is so often the case with these missives, I wanted to call your attention to an incident involving our little angel. It seems that Lara has been the subject of some ridicule amongst the other girls at school. From what I can gather, some of the other young ladies were teasing her for being too much of a tomboy.
Well, that'll change when she starts getting
You know how Lara
boobs.
can get when pushed into a corner. Let's just say they won't be bothering her again. But I do think their words have had an effect. I believe Lara has been missing her mother lately. She's begun to worry that she isn't like the other girls. And having grown up with only a father, it shouldn't come as a surprise that she has trouble relating to them. I wonder if this new friend of yours, Anna, is it? Perhaps she might prove a welcome influence. It might be worth bringing her to the manor to meet Lara. In any case, I'll let you decide the proper time to do that. Please travel home safely. Yours?
Mum's atelier. Dad sealed it soon after she died.
And
He
left
probably couldn't
a
bear the
letter
idea
to
of
him
removing
about
any of
his
her
new
belongings.
girlfriend.
Untouched for years, exactly as she left it.
I stood up to my family's criticism, stood in defense of Richard and our love. But as my new life began in Croft Manor, doubt set in. How could love flourish in these cavernous halls and endless passageways? Had I made a terrible mistake? I have never been more delighted to be wrong. Richard welcomed me to the manor, my new home, with a game. It was a clue, written in jumbled words from 5 different languages, but it pointed the way forward. The next clue was a seemingly blank piece of parchment in the kitchen, where the heat of a candle revealed a message written in lemon juice. I followed each step, grinning like a child as I solved his riddles and chased the trail to its end. A white cloth stretched out on the lawn where a picnic was laid out. We laughed and ate, and my doubt vanished with the last of the morning mist. Love can and will endure.
Get you a man that can do both.
I don't have any memory of this. I wish I could remember doing this. Mum died too young. Mum with me as a baby. I've never seen this. Hard to believe I was ever that small. Mum's paintings. Which one was Dad's favorite?
It was the one with the squares, wasn't it?
I returned home this afternoon to collect the last of my paintings. I suppose I should say I returned to my family's home. Atlas was there, in one of his foul moods, and even as he dripped venom for Richard with his cruel barbs, I could only laugh. To think that I once listened to my bitter brother in matters of my own happiness. My dismissal only served to infuriate him more. I left him there in Father's study, muttering to himself. On the drive back, as Winston took a longer route through the country, I looked through my paintings, Richard's favorite one among them, a simple abstract with blocks of red. I smiled, thinking about giving it to him. I was happy, and I was going home.
Oh, I called it.
Blocks of red. Dad's favorite painting. Maybe something about that painting will help me figure out the combination.
I see 4 blocks. so...
You've almost got it, darling. Here, let me show you. Like this, see? Well done, Lara. Well done.
I wonder how my life would have been different had she lived.
Okay, yeah, there's 4 of those. What was the riddle again?
For God's sake, memorize the combination, you fool. Lara's
5,
expedition
4.
treasure. My favorite painting by Amelia. The day of our wedding anniversary.
I'm not sure about that one.
I'm glad I still have so much of Mum's work.
Well, you're not gonna have it for much longer if you don't fix this shit, honey. Yaha.
With Amelia gone, the manor is a different place. A dimness pervades, a quiet I can't stand. Even though Lara is too young to understand what has happened, she also senses the change. She's asked after her mother only once, and I'm afraid my reaction must have terrified her. I will need Winston more than ever these next few months to help look after her. I never quite realized how much grief can consume a man, but I am utterly consumed. I know I can't escape the pain, but I will try my damnedest to avoid it. I will seal the West Wing for as long as I live in this place. It will remain exactly as Amelia left it.
Tree through the
Perhaps
wall and
someday
everything.
Lara can find her own answers there.
Well, it's a good thing your kid likes puzzles.
I believe it took this trip to push me over the edge. I've been able to see Richard in his element, seeing him at his best and his worst. I've experienced the purity and chaos of his passion, and I came to realize I want his passion in my life every day. So it's done. Richard wanted to wait another 4 days until my birthday, but I wouldn't have it. Once I make a decision, I prefer to get on with it. So we found a small chapel in Luxor that was just right. And with Roth and the others at our side, we married as the sun set over this remarkable land. Mother will never forgive me. Atlas will forever resent me. But I don't care anymore. I'm free of de Mornay obligations. Free to pursue my own passions and live my life surrounded by those who will encourage and challenge me. I'm excited for the future, whatever it may bring. Tomorrow, Richard and I return home to London as the Crofts, forging our path together.
It's gonna be 4 days before her birthday. We don't have that information yet either.
Amelia would not have approved. That alone should have been the end of it. But I am, as God made me, a stubborn fool. I locked all the West Wing's doors, and I shall not open them again until either my life or my obstinacy comes to an end. The night before, Roth told me I would someday change my mind. Like a broken arm cast in plaster, he said. The wound would heal, and we would someday shed the bandages to be whole again. The metaphor made me furious. The clumsy way he cast our loss off as nothing more than an inconvenience. There is wisdom in his rough words, but I've done what I must. Perhaps one day, Lara will throw back the doors to let the sun shine in again. Maybe she will find her own sense of peace in this place.
Weird place to stash that, but okay.
Still works. Mum's wedding ring. I always wondered what happened to it. The inscription is faded.
I I am bursting with pride. Amelia is with child. It is amazing how everything in life can change with such a simple event. Obviously, we don't know the gender, but already we've discussed possible names. Perhaps Benjamin, after my grandfather?
Ah,
or maybe
Benji Croft,
Griffin.
Tomb Raider.
He was more infamous a Croft than even me. No, Amelia wouldn't have it. Besides, she's certain it's a girl. She favors a classic such as Scarlet or Kate, though I've made some headway with Lara. A subtle nod to the sun god Ra, and our days in Egypt, where certainly this child was conceived. I find myself thinking about this new life we've created, of how much she might be like us. For all my research into myths of immortality, I may have ignored the most obvious answer to the questions that plague me. We live on through our progeny, our genes, DNA, experiences, passed through the generations. Perhaps this is the simple truth of eternal life, and I've just been too stubborn to accept it.
Dad may have discovered the secret to immortality without even knowing it. I remember this. Dad gave it to Mum on her birthday.
Oh.
October 13th, Mum's birthday.
9. 5, 4,
okay,
9.
Back to the study to open that safe. Mum, on her wedding day, she looks so beautiful. There's a date, October something.
Oh, we already figured that out.
Anniversary was in October. Which day? I can't believe I don't know this. There's got to be another clue somewhere. My mother's perfume. The smell. So familiar. I can almost remember her.
I know she's trying to like be quiet and introspective, but she is kind of
This is Dad.
getting a bit
I suppose it's a family tradition, but I can't imagine having one of these made of me.
bit monotone. I mean, Tina Belcher.
After everything
more.
Atlas
I
has...
think this was Dad's pocket watch.
Okay, something's gotta jingle. Where is it? There we go.
Looks like it stopped precisely at midnight.
How could you tell him about the expedition?
It's just all been too much. I needed to talk to someone. He's still my brother.
Dad, what do you keep in there?
Nothing too important, Lara. Estate business and such.
If it's not important, then why bother putting it in a safe?
I should know better than to try and pull one over on you. There is something important in here. And it's for you, should you need it someday.
Well, let's hope you came through for me, Dad. That worked. It makes me happy to know that Dad kept this safe.
Nintendo 64.
No, that's not what I'm looking for.
I am numb. It is taking all my willpower to hold back the overwhelming grief. Amelia's plane crashed in the mountains. She died alone in the snow, waiting for me to find her. Oh God, not her, not now. I cannot accept it. Life without her is too painful to imagine. I know what must be done, and I am resolved. I'm going to bring her back. Perhaps this is why I am here. Perhaps this is fate, a test of my faith in the truth I've sought for so long. Roth will fight me on this, but I can't face Lara. I can't look into her eyes unless I try. I must try to bring Amelia back.
Dude.
The monks are preparing the elixir now, and then we will see if all my years of hunting this truth was for naught.
Dad.
Did you Frankenstein my mom?
Dad's sequel to his first book on immortality. He never got a chance to publish it. Handwritten. This is the only copy. Damn, this isn't it either.
Hello,
I was
eBay.
certain there had to be a will in here. Wait, what's that? A blank page.
Well, you say that, but...
Dad must have left this for me. It has to be important.
Oh, wrong button.
A hidden message. What are these strange marks? They have to be some kind of clue.
Oh, really? Okay. Okay.
I...
Okay. The hell am I looking for?
Mistress Lara, I took the liberty of preparing a tray, as dinner did not go according to plans. I've included, in addition to your meal, a few treats. I would appreciate it if you kept this between us, but I felt tonight called for something special. If you will forgive me the indulgence, your rapid exit from the dinner table had me concerned, and I wanted to impart something that I hope sets your mind at ease. I have known your father for quite some time. There is an intensity to his passion that can be frightening, but I recognize that same passion in you. You're more like him than you know. Never doubt that he loves you more than his research, more than his artifacts, more than anything in this world. Storms pass, and tomorrow will be clear and blue again. When you have finished, please leave the tray outside. Be well. Yours, Winston.
Yeah, Winston seems like he's got a good head on his shoulders. There's a thing there. I'm sure that's going to come in handy for something later, but at present we do not yet have the thing. Whatever that may happen to be. Aha!
Not sure. I really need to brush up on my ancestors.
That clue's got to be pointing us towards something else, but I can't figure out what. Let's see. The final puzzle.
A hidden message.
Okay, so...
I remember this now. Each district in ancient Egypt had a symbol and a number. I always preferred these symbols to the actual number hieroglyphs.
So 1, 4, 2. Well, that'll go with something. We just gotta find the other thing. I wish I knew where that was. Can you recall, did we come across a safe or anything like that at any other point in time? Like an additional one, I mean?
I don't trust him.
You don't have to, Richard, but please, trust me.
I'm sorry, my dear, but I know him. He'll take it to the papers. The investors will pull out.
Then go. Without me. Tonight. I will take care of Atlas. And then meet you in Tibet next week.
I was so young, but I still remember that terrible argument. It wasn't always an easy road for my parents.
The last time it gave me a clue, it said something about something in here, so it wouldn't hurt to look a second time. Okay, guess not. Guess the other thing I could potentially do is look and see if there's something left inside the safe that I didn't see before. Something with an additional combination, perhaps. Is there? Doesn't look like it.
Dad's map of the forgotten cities of northern Syria. He was closer than he knew to finding the Prophet's tomb.
Oh, see, we already saw the dinosaur.
Dad's book about immortality myths might be useful in my research.
The only other thing I can think to do is... Oh! There was a locked door in the servant's path. Let's go see if that does something. Well, I was right, but it's very unimpressive. Library. It's the servant's path. Oh, hey. Another ladder to climb. Let's try that. There. I feel like, don't you make it unclimbable. Because that would be some bullshit. You could just also not put anything up here, I guess.
This picture was taken in the library. 1820 additions to the main hall in progress.
Were there things down here I couldn't open? I seem to remember that.
I know, Winston. I just want... Oh no! I didn't even see that!
You should also know by now, I'm not to be trifled with on this board, young lady. Mate.
Okay, let's see. Aha! I see a thing. It lights up. That meant to do something. Aha!
Damn, locked in.
If we find our zombie mom at the end of this...
Did Dad build all of this just to keep his research safe? This was part of a set of statues Dad found in China. He thought it was linked to the Temple of Xian. Perhaps I should look into it someday.
Yes, a mummy.
It's over. I have done all that I could, and my Amelia is still cold and dead. Roth first scowled at my designs. Then he pleaded with me not to go through with the ritual. Not because he feared it might work, but because he feared what I might do when it failed. And it has failed. There is no doubt in that. I prepared everything according to my research. When I dropped the stone into the elixir and held it to her lips, I thought for the barest moment that it had worked. The hour was midnight and my pocket watch stopped inexplicably. There was a charge in the air like the moment before a lightning strike. For a heartbeat, I imagined that my life was being drawn from me as one empties a glass in order to be poured back into Amelia. I would have welcomed death if the last thing I saw were her eyes, clear and alive again. But the moment passed. Amelia is still dead, and I was no Orpheus. We will return to the manor and lay her to rest. I owe her that much.
You brought her home. She's here, somewhere.
Oh, I'm glad she's not a zombie.
The missing page from the renovation plans. They didn't want anyone outside the family knowing about this crypt.
What's the chunks of red stuff, Dad?
My love. It is silent. So peacefully silent now. Even after the madness and chaos of the crash, I can't help but still wonder at the beauty of these mountains. I understand the magic that drew you here. Please know that I feel no pain in this moment. Only immense sadness. Sadness that I couldn't see your smiling face once more. That I'll never meet the wonderful woman that our daughter will become. There is so much to say, but I'm tired. The sun is setting. The cold of night will overwhelm me. I know I will fall asleep soon, and likely never again awaken in this world. I'm scared. Richard, what lies beyond? You know I've always struggled with faith, so I'm holding on to yours for now. I'm holding on as best I can, my love. Become the father Lara deserves. Know that I will live on in her.
Mum faced death alone. She was so brave. Might be able to use this to access other parts of the manor.
Yeah. I'm gonna break so much stuff.
Dad's collected knowledge. There must be so many secrets hidden in here. There's an inscription. This is the Croft universe. Our knowledge is to the east, our respite to the west. Our future is to the south, our past is to the north. Our past to the north. Could there be something else beneath it?
Yeah.
Amazing. Even in here, Dad went out of his way to hide his findings.
It's fine, it wasn't a load-bearing wall.
Hi, Dad. So I know I only just returned to school, but when can I come out to the dig site again? It's just so boring here. We're doing all the stuff I already read last summer. I always end up staring out the window and thinking about our expeditions, and then I'm yelled at for daydreaming. I promise I'll be good and not disturb you and just work wherever you tell me. I just miss it, Dad. And I miss you.
Okay, I know where we're going now.
Our knowledge is to the east, our respite to the west. Our future is to the south, our past is to the north.
Yeah, it's a good thing you dusted it off before you decided to knock a huge ass hole in it. It's the Croft way.
Incredible. This crypt was here all along.
I expected a sort of crushing finality to grip me when we returned to the manor to lay Amelia to rest. Indeed, once the last of my funereal duties were performed, I fully believed that I would crumple to the ground next to her and expire, not from grief, but succumbing to the terrible exhaustion of the last few weeks. Instead, as the mausoleum stones slid into place, I felt a sort of peace and energy. One that I confess caught me entirely off guard. This was not the terminus of our story, and I was a fool to think so. Her body may be gone, but her spirit still resides here, in the manor, in me, in Lara. Her soul is forever twined with mine, and death is just a momentary interruption. I walked out of that cold quiet into a sunlight that burned my eyes, and I have never been more sure. Death is not the end, and there is work yet to do.
My God, can it be? Dad, you did bring her home.
My dearest Lara, it is difficult to write this, knowing these may only ever be words on a page to you. I wonder if you will remember my voice. Will you remember the way we used to play and laugh? Will you remember me comforting you when you were sad? Know that I'm still with you, Lara. My energy, my love. It's within you. It always will be. Use that energy to pursue your passions in life. Never let others determine your journey. You become who you are through your choices, through the love you give and the promises you keep. I hope you are happy, that you are loved and successful in whatever it is you choose to do. I am proud of you, my darling. Remember me with all my love, your mother.
Now raid her tomb. Well, I guess that means she found the will. Eat it, Uncle Axel. Or whatever the hell your name was.
What's this? A letter.
Lara, I have received the notarized affidavit confirming Amelia's grave and the discovery of the burial crypt within the manor premises. While I can't fathom why your father would hide your mother's fate from her own family, I cannot deny that any legal claims I may have had on the estate are now null and void. Croft Manor and the remainder of your father's assets are now yours in perpetuity to do with as you wish. If there comes a time when you require assistance in managing the estate, I hope you will consider contacting me to retain my services. Sincerely, your uncle.
What a douche.
I've been so focused on defying my uncle, of fighting to keep his hands off this manor, that I never realized how much this place actually means to me. But since I've been here, I can feel the presence of my mother and father. I sense the entire history of my family and the deep roots we have in this place. I want to honor my parents. I want to honor all of my ancestors. The Croft family may be all but destroyed, but I will make our name and our home great again.
You could start by cleaning the fucking place up, Laura. Listen, there's still a tree through the house. Now we can go back to Siberia. That was fun, though. Told you a little bit about them, about her dad. Back to the abandoned mines. For a bit. We are very close to finding the hidden city. We have slain a witch and blown a mountain mining facility the fuck up. But there's still many other people to shoot and or explode. Why did I do that? Another one of those moments where I should have checked what my weapons were. every now and again I'll just assume that I already have the bow on me. And then hilarity ensues.
Comrades, it is imperative that you respond to my communiques. We are now in dire need of supplies and reinforcements. A full revolt is in progress, and the prisoners now control the excavation site and surrounding facilities. In retribution, I have ordered mass executions of prisoners from the native population. With any luck, these rebels will lay down their arms and surrender to save their own countrymen.
Ooh. Can always use more sticks. I'm a level 3 Russian.
It is clear to me now that our communications have been sabotaged. You likely have received none of my cables for quite some time. But I will continue transmitting, as it is my duty. Local natives attacked us on multiple fronts soon after we attempted to sway them with the executions of their countrymen. There are far more natives than we ever anticipated. It is clear that they come from the other side of the mountain and have been preparing their revolt carefully for years. We are now without power and water, and winter is upon us. Those of us who remain will soon be leaving. We have one train transport that we will take with us as many records and artifacts as we can.
Ah.
Someone tried to get through this door before. I can use these other cables to rip open the door.
It's fine. You'll be fine.
The truck's anchored to that door. It might be heavy enough to rip it open.
Okay. It's fine. We're fine. Okay, it's just a light. I did. But a very controlled one, mostly. Partially. We good.
She's there by the mural. Open fire!
Oh, it was just some rocks falling, okay. Like they do. Not enough of a mess, I feel. Or maybe too much of one. I don't know. Oh, a thing.
Now this makes sense. If I follow these directions...
We can get that one while we're here. I really do love the design work that goes into some of these levels. Like, I would love to see what this looks like at its best. Yaha. Okay.
Gold sword hilt inlaid with jewels. This belonged to a Byzantine noble. The blade itself was snapped off at the base. Did this happen in battle?
Well, thank you for not crumbling right underneath me. Oh.
To any who received this message, I will soon be dead, and with me all knowledge of this place. Escape for us was never an option. We boarded the train and set out for the long journey, only to discover that mere miles from the mountain, the tracks we built upon the backs of so many dead had simply disappeared. For months now, the native population has carefully dismantled the railroad, intentionally isolating this place in preparation for their attacks. And like their precious ruins, I will soon be taken by the snows and forgotten.
You know, I have to give them some credit. People talk, you know, the railroad's coming to town soon. Well, not if we have anything to say about it. If you bring us railroad, we will steal railroad. Come on. Damn it.
of it! Just you and me!
Where's that douchebag? Indeed. Okay, this is where I have been before. With a handy dandy ladder. Yes, yes, very good. An entire bolt action rifle? That was almost at absolutely the wrong angle. That could have taken her leg right off. No! Ah! Why did you do that? There was clearly a ledge to grab onto. This is fine.
Right, that should work.
Okay. I'm gonna trust you on that.
That did it.
Well, it'll take a while for them to get through that if they follow you.
This statue must be the immortal prophet.
The Buddy Christ.
And this, it shows the exodus of his people from the deserts of Syria. They settled in a hidden valley and built a great city.
Katash. To protect the city and its people, the prophet raised an army of warriors.
But what is this showing? It's not the divine source they're holding.
Something else, but what?
And his warriors forged for him an atlas. That the Prophet might always know his city and its secrets.
A map of the city. It could show the way to the divine source.
Well, all right. He doesn't need that money. Okay.
It's a wonder this place is still standing.
Yeah, because I kicked the outside's ass. She's got to get better breath control, I swear to God. You ever hold your breath so long that you start seeing your blood vessels pop in your eyes? Because apparently she does that quite often. Geothermal. That's a fun word.
Stop right there! Easy. Easy. You know I'm not with Trinity.
Why should we believe you?
I escaped with one of yours. A man named Jacob.
Where is he now?
We were together, but we got separated in the mines.
She killed him!
No! No!
Jacob would never trust an outsider.
Please, listen, I am not your enemy.
I warned you. You should have left.
Sophia! Enough!
Father! I thought I lost you.
I'm glad you made it out of there. Forgive Sophia, she is cautious.
In her position, I'd be the same way.
What did you find out?
Trinity is coming in force. We must prepare.
Her?
She's a friend. On my word, no harm will come to her.
These ruins. They must be near the Prophet's lost city.
Come. We do not have much time. Prepare the weapon stores. Secure the battlements. Go! Now! They're almost here. But we're outnumbered.
The children and elders are vulnerable.
Go. Get them into the catacombs. Light the fires. The valley must be alerted.
Incredible.
Sophia, muster our fighters. Then meet me in the upper village.
Don't disappear again, Father.
There's much to do. If we had more time.
So,
Later. For now, I'll do what I can to help.
I definitely saw him get crushed by rocks. Like, I'm 90% certain. There was an audible crunch, so...
You, head down to the old radio. Get the generator working. We need to get one last transmission out.
This vase must have been beautiful once, but someone's poked a few new holes in it and filled it with dirt. They must have used it to grow seedlings.
The other settlements know what's coming. You two, I need eyes out across the valley. Head to the cliffs and take watch. I want to know the moment you see them.
Jacob and his people are resilient. I'll give them that. Trinity is on their way. They could do with my help. And this atlas from the mural. If it really is some kind of map of the ruins, I've got to find it before Anna. If I don't, then all these deaths will have been in vain. And I can't have that on my conscience.
Oh. More stuff, you say?
They've got helicopters. We should expect them to come from the air.
Okay, that wasn't
the
highlighting.
Soviets did as well. So we stay beneath the trees. They can't hit what they can't see.
Cut us down, no matter where we...
I need more wood for the fire.
They needed most of the lumber to repair the guard towers. We'll have to make do with what we have.
Another difficult winter for my people. There are more deaths than births now. And as the seasons pass, the young ones are becoming restless. I see them looking to the sky when the rare plane passes overhead. Wistful. Wondering. Longing. I know they are still deeply committed to the cause. But I also sense a change coming. An end to our way of life is on the horizon. The most recent invaders are fading from memory. But as the technology of men advances, more are bound to find our valley again. And we are bound with the fate of this place. For better, or worse.
If they need arrowheads for the battle, then I need more firewood.
I've already cut plenty. Besides, I don't know how much more time you'll have left to forge.
We can make points faster than broadheads. That should be our focus.
Optional challenge tomb nearby, you say?
Can you see anything from up there?
No, I'm trying to get
Yeah.
the structure repaired. You want the whole thing to fall when the wind picks up?
Just keep your eyes out. I could be here at any moment.
I'll do what I can.
What are
You there. We could use some help if that's what you're here for.
Ah.
I'm here to help. What can I do?
We're trying to fortify as many of these towers as we can. Most of them were badly damaged in last year's floods. We've got the repairs in hand, but I need some extra supplies from around the valley. If we can get these towers repaired, it'll give us an advantage over the invaders, and it'll help us reach the upper levels of the ruined towers. Will you help?
Sure, why not?
I'll see what I can round up.
Thank you. Bring them back to me when you found them. Do you have the supplies we need?
Do I? Yes, apparently I do. Here, just take
Here
my
you
stuff.
are. This should be everything you asked for.
Good, good. Leave some of the supplies in the basket there, and we'll finish the repairs. But I need you to bring the rest of the supplies down to the tower by the lakeshore. When you're done, Meet me back here.
Lara, I'm sorry if Sophia was less than welcoming.
I understand. I'm just glad you were there to vouch for me.
My people have spent decades fighting outsiders. It's not an easy habit to break. See if you can lend a hand with the preparations. A little hard work would go a long way towards building trust.
I'll see what I can do.
I think the other tower is down this way somewhere. Okay, don't grab the branch. It's fine. Whatever. I'm not your mom. That is not what I came here for, but... Okay. I am pointed in the right direction. It tells me. Really?
The day I feared has come. There can be no more denying it. The helicopters we saw last sundown represent a new incursion onto our lands. We have grown up in the shadow of our parents' struggle, and now it seems we will have our own. But the sacred duty must be done. We must protect the source of God's grace on Earth.
You there. Maybe you'll be able to help us with these machines.
In a minute, lady. Basket? Basket. I have done it. I've got to be mindful of where I am because there's a bobcat or something near here. Yeah, there it is. Where are you at? Because it would have hassled me eventually.
I left the supplies by the other tower. Looks like you finished this one.
That we have, thanks to you. This will give us an edge over the invaders. We need all we can get.
I'll do what I can.
What does that mean? Gonna explain it? Of course not. It's fine. Whatever. Whatever. Actually, I think what I'm looking for is up there. Let's go kill that tomb real quick. Then we can shoot more bad guys. For later. Disappointed I cannot harvest ammunition from them. They allow me so few joys. Money.
There's got to be something down there. Astonishing. This architecture predates the rise of Eastern Orthodoxy. What were they doing here? A gold belt buckle. Decorative but strong and functional. It appears to be part of a military uniform.
So whatever it was they were doing, it involved belts.
I have left my wife in the care of these physicians. The sickness became exactly what we feared as her skin turned to scales and she lost all feeling in her extremities. They say there is nothing that can be done for her save for give her relief from the pain and ease her passing. But she must be kept far from the city, far from me. My wife will die, and I will never see her in this world again. I will hurry to the next to meet her.
So is that him or an unrelated person? Not as concerned about crafting, y'all. I do not remember exactly, but if I'm not mistaken, this is one of the far more difficult tombs to unlock, so let's see how quickly we can get through it, or if we can at all. No, we can push out further than that, surely, yes. Or not. Okay. I think what we want... What are you doing? My God. To get that tied to that. I'm not sure how to do it. There we go.
Perfectly preserved.
Okay. We want to get that thingy attached to that thingy.
A golden necklace of incredible detail. Whoever made it, it's the equal of anything found in the Empire.
That potentially does a thing, but is it doing the thing that we want to be thinged? Make sure I'm not missing a key component anywhere. Doesn't look like it, but I'm not sure how that helped. So let's see. Go. I'm confused. Let's see. What am I missing? Okay, I can't see that from here, so that's not tied to it. Do those things tie together? Let's see. Okay. Sheer spite. That's how I roll. Maybe I can... Can I hit that from here? Can I? Well, I can, but that does nothing. Okay. I don't know, folks. This is why I have trouble. I may be supposed to reactivate this all over again? Is that what it might be?
That should hold. Just need to find a way up.
That didn't do jack. Let's see. I'm wanting to get on top of that. It's not letting me. I suppose that can roll to the side. Any further, can it? No. Okay. Maybe I'm supposed to be able to hit both. I don't know. Let's see. Oh, and then that lowers. Very interesting. Okay. acceptable. There we go. And that lifted both of them. Excellent. No! What? Ah! The supermarket cart comes out every now and again. And yes! Excellent. Why was that ledge harder for you to climb on than most of them are?
An old codex. Looks to be a treatise on the connection between the body and the mind.
Oh, I like the sound of that. Nice. Thank you, ancient lepers.
We are crippled by our isolation. We have with us the combined medical knowledge of the Empire, a millennia of learning that tells us how to treat every ailment. But here, on the edge of the world, the lack of one simple flower leaves us helpless. I cannot do much for the afflicted. I know how, but I cannot because we have hidden ourselves away. These people and many more that follow will die needlessly, all to keep our secret hidden. I pray the prophet is right when he says that it will be worth it in the end.
I like the idea of a geothermal valley. I don't quite understand the science behind it. That you can just have like a tiny pocket of temperate in the middle of all this tundra, but I like the idea. Oh, it's just a knot in the tree. Okay. Nope. There you go.
They will likely come from the air. Jacob is assembling fighters in the upper village to draw their attention there. The children and those too old to fight will be safely hidden in the Acropolis catacombs. I will go there once things are in hand here.
How can we expect to beat them?
The fight will not be won in open combat. They will hit us hard and fast, and we will take losses.
Well, at least she's honest to him. Okay, at 2 hours and 14 minutes, I actually think this might be a pretty good stopping point. We're going to get into a lot more action right after this point. This has been a fun broadcast. I'm happy to pick up where we left off on this. And we will pick this up again come Wednesday, same time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Thank you, everyone who joined me, whether you were lurking or taking active part in the chat or what have you. This will be uploaded shortly to my YouTube channel, so if you miss anything, you can catch up there. And this has been fun. Y'all have a great night.